Hello everybody, I'm Eric Walker and welcome to another review for all4sci-fi.com. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 5, which marks the return of a fan favorite, Ahsoka Tano. Thank you so much, Dave Filoni, for convincing Disney Plus, and also thank you, Kathleen Kennedy, for producing and saving Clone Wars Season 7. We really need it at this time. As always, before we get into any spoilers or discussion about the episode, we'll have a sign that comes up here that says spoilers, so you know to pause it and come back later once you've watched the episode. And of course, we also give the official rating before we get into any spoilers or discussion. Now, to make some announcements. As many of you have heard, as of last night, here in California, the governor has declared a state of emergency because of this COVID-19 virus, and all 40 million of us residents here in California have to stay at home. So I'm asking all of you out there that are watching this, please pray for us in California. Here in California, we are praying for you and the rest of the world as well. So let's all stay safe. Let's all watch videos. Let's all get past this together. Now, also, some exciting news happened to me the other day I wanted to share with you. Most of you won't get this until May, if there's not any delays in shipping because of this virus. But a friend of mine brought this to me. Look at that. It's the child. Oh, and I so want to take this out of the box and play with it. I'm sure he would love to play along with his buddy and his dad here, this Mandalorian on a blurg. Thank you very much for bringing the blurgs back from our Ewok movies. Thank you, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And if you guys are interested in having the original Mace or having me do any kind of role on the Mandalorian or any of the stuff you're producing in the future, I'm available. It would be great for the fans as well, and a great Easter egg. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about the episode, which is Episode 5. The episode is called Gone with a Trace. And the fortune cookie that happens at the very beginning of the episodes, this one is, if there is no path before you, create your own. And that's so true. That's a great saying. I love these little fortune cookie sayings at the beginning of each episode. And remember that. If there's not a path before you, create your own. Okay, and let's go ahead and give the official rating for this episode before we get into any spoilers. At All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating system of 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars, of course, being the best. If it's 3 or less, we don't recommend that you watch this episode. Or if it's in a movie theaters, go watch it there as well. This episode, Episode 5, Gone with a Trace, gets 4 stars. That's it. 4 stars, everybody. I'm going to give this episode 4 stars. I really liked it. It was great to have Ahsoka Tano back. I don't think it quite reached the level of 4.5 stars, certainly not 5 stars. But let's go ahead and the sign's going to come up here, spoilers. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. Let's talk about this episode, Gone with a Trace. As I mentioned, it marks the return of Ahsoka Tano, which is played by Ashley Eckstein, a very fan favorite. She does all the clothing, which a lot of the ladies love, including my wife. And it also has, in this episode, we have some new characters. We meet Trace Martez and Rafi Martez, who are sisters. And they're played by, Trace is played by Bridget Cali, and Rafa is played by Elizabeth Rodriguez. So I like to name the actors because I was an actor. So, okay, so this episode, at the beginning of it, it talks about how Ahsoka had this falling out with the Jedi because she was accused, and then, Anakin later found out it was her friend. So she decides to, walk a different path and leave the Jedi. So once she does that, in this episode, as it opens up, we see her on a speeder bike. And this speeder bike is having problems as it flies around on the lower levels of Coruscant. At one point, it completely goes out on her and she starts to fall. And she ends up landing on this level. I guess it's level 13, which is where this shop is, where she meets Trace. And Trace at first, offers to fix the bike for money. Of course, Ahsoka, the strong woman that she is, says, no, I could fix it, but can you give me a place to, park it? Of course, she wants money, and she tries to tell Ahsoka down here, everything is about money and credits. So she does allow her to park her bike and start working on it. And as she does that, they have this conversation about the Jedi. And Trace talks about how when she was a kid, she heard all these stories about the Jedi, but as far as she's concerned, the Jedi have let her down and let the entire universe down. And of course, that leaves Ahsoka in a very precarious position. She's not going to mention she's a Jedi, but as they're having this discussion, suddenly this owner of another shop, this person who owns a very scum and villainy type shop, and this creature shows up, and apparently Trace's sister, Rafa, owes this guy a bunch of money. So they ended up getting into this big, huge fight, and then Ahsoka has to show some of her skills to help Trace out, and they end up leaving. And so Trace has to go and speak to her sister and say, why do you owe this guy all this money? And why didn't you tell me you didn't pay him so that I could help out? And in the meantime, right after that, right during that, a job presents itself for them to build some droids, these demolition droids, which wreck everything. And of course, her sister negotiates the job and says that they could do it. And then after that, we end up going to them working on the droids. And Ahsoka reminds her, Trace, make sure you put that restraining bolt on these demolition droids. Otherwise, they could take off. And she forgets to do it on hers. So the droid takes off, and they have to go through this whole sequence of chasing after this demolition droid. They finally end up, capturing the droid before it hurts a child, a youngling. And they end up finishing the job, and, Rafa, gets them paid, and she surprises them by getting even more money so that they're able to finally pay off the debt that they owe this other person, this scum and villainy type person who owns the small shop. It's kind of a the person's name is Pintu Sun Il, I think. Guys, just a great episode. I can't quite give it 4.5 stars. I almost raised it even more talking about it because I really, really enjoyed it. And in this time of need, we need to escape for sure with all that's going on. But I'm going to keep my original rating. I'm going to give this still 4 stars only. It's great to see Ahsoka Tano back. I can't wait to see what other adventures we have with her. At the end of this episode, it ends and they part ways, and Ahsoka leaves. And so I guess we'll see in the next episode what else she's going to get into. Maybe she'll run into these sisters again. Maybe she's just started a great friendship with them. Who knows? We'll see. But that's it. It's the episodes. These episodes are a lot shorter than because they're only a 30-minute cartoon. But I can't wait to see next week. So that's all I got to say. I could go on a little bit more about it, but I think I pretty much covered everything. Very concerned about the world, guys. Please, again, let's all pray for each other. And, if we can, let's all check in on each other to make sure everybody's safe. If you could do an act of kindness this week for somebody, it will go a long ways. I did forget to mention this in the announcements, but I'm wearing our allforsci-fi.com swag, and this is available on allforsci-fi.com. The blue is for the light side. We also have red shirts like this, which are for the dark side. So if you're dark side, buy the red shirts. If you like the light side, buy the blue shirts. The blue is my favorite color. It does help us continue to produce this show. Also, we do have a Patreon account, and I'm going to put the links in below us. So if you could help us with anything, even if it's a one-time donation on Patreon, If you could help us with $1 a month or some sort of a monthly thing, that will help us grow our channel. And every bit that you guys do through Patreon or money, if you buy these shirts, all that money is going to go right back into allforsci-fi.com so that we can continue to bring you guys great entertainment. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm Eric Walker for allforsci-fi.com. Stay safe. God bless you all.